you have any, do you hold any degrees in the scientific discipline of mathematics?
I do not.
Do you hold any degrees in the scientific discipline of physics?
I do not.
Hold any degrees in the scientific discipline of biomechanics?
No.
How about in engineering?
No.
How about in kinematics?
No.
What's the highest degree that you do hold, sir?
I have an associate's degree.
In what?
Administration of justice.
You mentioned kinematics on Friday. Do you hold any certificates in the specific area of kinematics?
Yes, it's covered in the basic crash investigation classes.
Okay, so you took a class, in other words, correct?
Multiple classes.
They introduced the idea of what kinematics is, right?
Correct.
You testified about that on Friday.
Yes.
Define kinematics for the jurors.
It deals with the aspect of motion.
It's a subfield of what broader field?
Kinematics.
Kinematics is a subfield of what broader discipline of science?
I'm not sure.
Physics, correct?
Yes.
And it describes how points and objects, systems of objects, how they move, and how the rate they move and the rate of their velocity, correct?
It deals with the motions. It deals with the motions.
What's that called? The rate of velocity. What's another word for that?
The rate of velocity?
Correct.
I mean, it deals with the motion. It deals with forward, and also deals with speed. It deals with travel and speed. If something's moving, it also has a speed to it.
Right. The word you're looking for is acceleration, correct?
Sure.
Sure. Oh my gosh, that's painful.
Correct.
It talks about, like you just said, it talks about the speed and talks about motion.
Talks about.
Is kinematics also known as the geometry of motion? Is that correct?
I have not heard that.
Never heard that. What's the difference between constrained and unconstrained motion?
Constrained and unconstrained motion?
That's what I asked. That's what I asked. That's what I asked.
Constrained motion. I can't recollect. Yes.
Unconstrained motion is what?
Yes.
Unconstrained motion is what?
Yes. When it doesn't have a predetermined path?
Free movement, correct?
Correct.
Good to remember that from your class?
For the most part, we don't go that in depth, constrained and unconstrained.
Constrained, unconstrained, not restrained.
That's what I said. Sorry, unconstrained. Yes.
Kinematics uses algebraic formula to model these motions, right? The motions of these points and systems of points, correct?
Yes.
And it includes concepts like displacement and speed, velocity, distance, acceleration, which we've talked about, correct?
Correct.
And it looks at how these things, these values vary over a point in time or duration in time. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you actually understand the physics behind the study of kinematics?
Yes.
The word you learned in class.
Yes, we had to go over the physics part of it.
On Friday, you said that this incident is a pedestrian strike from a vehicle. You reiterated that again this morning. Is that right?
Correct.
I want to be clear. That is your opinion based on your training and experience, correct?
Yes.
And on Friday, you said you based that opinion on the fact that you noted a half-mile-an-hour decrease in speed and a steering input of less than 10 degrees at some point in that reverse motion, correct?
I said that was consistent. That data point in general was consistent with something that you would see within data of a pedestrian striker striking something else. I do go on my report saying I can't say that's definitively where a pedestrian was struck, but
I'm sorry, I could barely.
it wasn't definitively. Sorry, in my report I do say I can't say that is definitively where the pedestrian struck.
You cannot say it.
Definitively, yes.
Okay, so you're going to have to slow down and speak up, okay?
All right.
You just said, I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly, and I apologize.
Okay.
You said you cannot say definitively that that resulted in a pedestrian strike.
That data point within the text stream data is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That specific points, that time frame.
Because there's a multitude of reasons why when someone is driving in reverse, they might slow down by a half a mile an hour, right?